Hello! Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior Nabla Cosmetics? Hello beautiful people! Hi! My name is Mia and this is my virtual vanity, a place where we both love makeup and we are quite critical of it. But there will be absolutely nothing critical in this video because one, it's a brand that I non-stop shill on my channel. For real, Nabla, fucking pay me already, guys. And two, this is a collab with my wonderful friend here on YouTube, Zeyn. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly because me and pronunciations, we are not the best of friends. She is a relatively new channel, but I really like her vibe and her style of videos. It's very calming, very chill, very consumerist critical without being overly shrill and savage, which sometimes, you know, this whole being sassy and savage thing, I feel people use that as an excuse to be complete fucking dicks. But Zeyn honestly is a complete sweetheart, and she comes at this issue of buying too much makeup and not using the makeup you have with such a gentle touch and just a very nice level-headed approach. So if you're into that kind of content, go check her out, and if you're not into that kind of content, go check her out still, or else. I know kickboxing, kung fu, and other like 50 very dangerous words, but no, for real, I know kickboxing, you go check her out. But anyway, we bonded over our love for Nabla, which, if you're new, be ready to hear about Nabla a lot. If you're not, yeah, I'm sorry you're gonna have to hear about Nabla again. It is what it is. This is the situation on this channel. But basically, I absolutely love Nabla. I have all of their palettes. I have a bunch of singles. So how did I initially find out about Nabla? I followed the Nabla owner, Mr. Daniele Makeup, on YouTube, and I really liked his style. And then I saw he had a makeup brand, and I was like, let me check that out. Cause like everything Italian, I'm attracted to it like just a fly to honey. I think it's like blood calling blood since I'm half Italian. I think Nabla is the brand that I have the most items out of in my collection, and every release of theirs excites me in one way or another, except the lipstick releases, because I got plenty of lipsticks already. I fell in love with the quality of their singles and how multi-purpose and multi-dimensional most of their stuff is. Most of their singles you can completely use as a one shadow look, specifically the duochromes and the shimmers. They have such depth and shine to them. That another thing is that I feel that their quality is consistent. I know what I'm going to get. I know how it's gonna perform. They're very easy to use, at least for me. I see their latest palette, Poison Garden, got mixed reviews, but to me it kind of performed exactly as I thought it would, except that blue, which was shit. But anyway, I'm like 4 minutes in, I've not shown you guys anything, and it is high time to tell you what this collab was about. So we both love Nabla, yeah? And well, she came with the idea that we should do 7 days of Nabla, and I was like, you know what, yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, easiest collab I'll ever do ever, because it's going to be a pleasure to use those singles for 7 days. If I'm gonna do 7 days of one brand and film it, I'm gonna have to do it in the morning. What I did not take into account was the fact that if you're gonna spend 7 days with one brand and you're gonna film it, you're actually going to want to put some effort into the looks you create, which most of the time in the mornings I literally don't. Like, life happens. But yeah, get ready, grab a snack, grab a soda. There's 7 looks we have to go through from Monday to Sunday, including the one that I have on right now. So let's get this party started, guys. Why are you being naughty? She hates me. She likes my boyfriend more than me, to be honest. So, day 1, it's early morning. I am in my PJs. I'm not a morning person, but let's get to it. Today, for my standout Nabla single, I am using the single called Mystic, which is this rosy taupey kind of shade. I find it to be very pretty. Let me swatch it. But I honestly don't use it enough compared to my other singles, maybe because it's more neutral, I don't know. I'm going to make this my main lid shade, and as a companion palette I am using the NYX Ignite. I'm going to use mostly the pinkish rosy tones. You don't need this exact palette, obviously, you just need something that's a bit pink and rosy and you'll be good to go. With a fluffy blending brush, I'm going to take a pink light mauve tone and put it in my crease. Work quickly. These will not be complicated looks, I'm sorry to say, because during the week I have to work, and obviously since I have to work I don't have as much time to do my makeup in the mornings, unfortunately. I'm going to add another pass of the same shade. I'm using a new eyeshadow base today. I'm using the Essence eye base, and I'm just curious how it will perform during the day and how long this will last. What I like about using very fluffy brushes is that in the morning, when you're in a pinch and you don't have time to blend everything, it's very easy to just have everything blend in itself, because everything's just so damn fluffy and diffused. There's clearly a trade-off where you sacrifice depth and intensity for a nice gradient. Adding the same color to my lower lid. Use a densely packed brush this time and adding it to this outer V. And here I apply the most pressure, but as I go, I lighten the pressure, just like in painting. A tiny fluffy brush, I'm going to take a darker mauve. This is sort of a brownish mauve sort of tone, and try to deepen out the outer V, extend the line of the shadow, carve a bit this crease, not in the particular like actual sense of it, but carving as in just defining it. And the reason why I extend my shadow so much in the outer V is because it helps makes my eyes look larger. I feel that I have a nice eye shape, but not particularly a lot of like big eyes, objectively big eyes. So I try to pull every tip and trick in the trade to make them look a bit bigger. And also adding the same shade to my lower lash line, connecting the two. Ow! Oh, I hate it when I manage to just stick the brush in my eye. Ugh, makeup with myopia is a fucking struggle. I'm going to take the Nabla single I showed you guys earlier, and with my finger I'm going to pat it in this area over here. I chose these rosy tones because this is a bit cooler and it contrasts nicely, like the warmth of that rose with this sort of pinkish silvery taupe. So I'm first applying it with the finger that I loaded the product on, and then I'm trying to diffuse it with a clean finger around the edges. Same rosy tone I used earlier, so not the deep one, the light one, and diffuse the edges of the shimmer. And we are done. That was it. Yeah, that was it. Let me put some lipstick on, some mascara, and I'm going to show you the final look. This is the final look. We are going to try and ignore how much my hair is a mess, because I've given up on it a long time ago. But this is how the eyes look like. No lie, I just wanted this look to match my outfit, because I got this very cool t-shirt with David's head and like leaves and stuff. Morning guys, today's look is going to be Fast and Furious. No cars jumping from building to building, unfortunately, and hopefully no major character deaths, but it's gonna be Fast and Furious nonetheless. And I'm going to use the Nabla single in Virgin Island, which is this blue that has a turquoise purplish reflect when used wet. When used dry, I find that it's not like the best blue out there. It's like maybe an 8 out of 10 on a scale of blues. And as a companion palette, I'm going to use the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil, particularly the greens. Of course, you don't need to use this palette, you just need to use whatever you have handy if you don't have this one. On a fluffy blending brush, I'm going to grab a lime green and use this as my transition shade. Jesus Christ, I forgot how pigmented this was. Like, I have periods with this palette where I'm like, this is crap. And then it surprises me again with stuff like this. I mean, this is only one pass. I'm going to take a clean brush and diffuse a bit these edges because I am going to work, unfortunately. To grab a darker green and blend it closer to my crease. I don't know why, it feels like these are muddying up a lot. And I don't know if my brush was dirty from someplace else or... You know what, we're just going with it. I don't have time to start over. I need to run off to work in 10 minutes, maybe 15 at most. So we are doing this as it is. Going again with the same brush that I put that lime green. I'm passing it over again, trying to get rid of some of that muddiness. Fuck my life. From another palette, I'm taking a deep forest green and starting to work in the outer V. If I see patchiness on camera, I don't see it in real life, I swear to God, I'm gonna throw a tantrum. So adding this to my lower lash line. I'm going to take a denser packing brush and put this in the outer corner. Going to take Virgin Island on a flat packing brush and give it a spritz of Fix Plus. Try to follow the outline of my crease. Packing it on the lid. Most pressure applied here, less pressure applied as I go to the end of the eyelid. Going with a second layer. As I said, maybe not the best blue out there, but it does the job. And I do enjoy it. So, there's to the left. I'm going to take Nabla Mystic from yesterday and put it in the inner corner. And this is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's get on to the next one. So it's day 3 and me and my elf ears say hi. Let's get down to business. So in today's video, I'm going to use Nabla Abysnthe, which is a reddish brown base with a turquoise shift, a bit similar to the Wet n Wild blue-brown pigmented and Comfort Zone palette, or to the classic MAC blue-brown pigment. I like using Absinthe for most of the time is a one shadow look for when I'm rushing out the door, but I gotta put some effort into this, so my day is over. to be quite honest with you. I am back from work. I actually took my face off, put a new one on. I didn't have any time for makeup. I prefer to like sleep extra 15 minutes, not gonna lie. So we're doing this at 11 p.m. because we're hardcore like that. On a fluffy blending brush, I am taking Absinthe in my crease, extending it a bit past the outer V, going a bit up. Same on the other eye. And as you can see, the reflect is quite strong from the start, like even diffused in my crease like this. There is a very obvious teal blue reflect going on. With a packing brush, I'm taking Absinthe again. This is not foiled right now. And I'm going to put it in the inner and outer corners for a halo eye effect. Now I'm taking it on my finger and adding it to the same areas as before. Now, because this is just the fanciest looking but laziest looks of them all, I'm going to grab a random golden shade from my collection and put it smack in the center of the lid. With a brush with a pointier tip on the lower lash line. A bit of gold again in inner corner. Voila! I think it took me like under 5 minutes. Laziness prevails. I am choosing the gold because it will go well with the brown base, but it's gonna contrast with the blue reflect, making this look like a much more complex look than it is. But anyway, here is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you the next time. Hello guys, it's morning again. And you know what I've noticed while I kept editing shit? I noticed that my enthusiasm and energy is going lower and lower as we get through the week because I'm so tired half the time, and I don't remember the last time I've actually had a full night's of sleep after which I felt well rested, so please bear with me. For today's Nabla singles, I'm actually going to use two matching shades, a shimmer and a matte. The matte is Lotus, which is a medium cold purple, while the shimmer is called Calypso, and well, it's also a medium toned purple. And what I wanted to show you in this look was the versatility of the matte Lotus. As a couple of months ago, I did a face chart recreation in collaboration with one of my good friends, Nikki, here on YouTube. And the face chart called for a purple blush, and I realized that I had none in my collection. So you know, I had to MacGyver it a bit, and I discovered how good of a blush Nabla Lotus truly was. First things first, I'm not going to pay much attention to the eye look, so I'm just going to put a wash of Calypso all over my lids with my finger. Just making sure to diffuse the edges. Remember, higher pressure where you want the most pigment to be, lower pressure where you want less pigment to be. As you can see, this has such a beautiful finish. It's such a multi-dimensional sort of color, despite it, you know, not having a duochrome or anything. It just feels like I have a complete look on my eyes, not just a wash of color. I zoomed you out. Let's get to the blush. That's why I actually have a bare face. I just have foundation. I'm going to grab a fluffy powder brush or a blush brush or whatever you want to call it. Point is, it needs to be fluffy, slightly domed. If you're feeling insecure about how much pigment you pick up, have it be even more domed than that, maybe up to a point. And if you choose this type of brush where it's like domed and to a point, try to use the side of the brush to apply product and just tap it on your face. But you know, I kind of know how this color performs. Famous last words maybe, I don't know, we will see. I'm going to be being this type of classic sort of powder brush. And what I want from this powder brush is to not be too dense and not too sparse either. So why I don't want it to be dense is because the less dense it is, the less color pickup. So that means that I can safely build up the color, because it's safer to just build up the color in steps as opposed to just smack a huge amount of pigment on your face and then worry about blending it out. Let's get on to application. As you can see, this, as you shear it out, pulls more pinkish purple as opposed to regular purple. And I hope I did like clean my brush before, but no promises. Second layer, and this time it's actually pretty purple. Circular motions. I like to do a bit of subtle draping. And I'm doing upwards motion like this because if you drag the blush more to the bottom of the face, it just drags it down. And well, I do want it to drag it down a bit because I don't have that long of a face, and I feel that if it drags it down a bit, it looks a bit more editorial and more chiseled. Because God knows I don't know what those cheekbones are, but also not too much. So this is the side with the blush, and I hope I'm not like crossing my eyes or anything. It's so strange looking at the viewfinder and like not seeing jack shit. What I like to do is with the leftover product on the brush, I like to drag it around my forehead, a bit on the chin, a bit on the nose. It pulls the whole look together just a tad. Add some highlighter. Now I'm going to try Notoriously Morbid. I thought I'd seen a ghost highlighter. This was sent to me by my wonderful friend Mariam here on YouTube. She saw in a video that I wanted to try Notoriously Morbid, and she was like, girl, I have some, let me hook you up. And she just gave me a box full of stuff, and I'm still kind of in shock because it was as if Christmas came early. So this is a loose pigment, which means I'll have to at least try and foil it or something. I have no idea what I'm doing, to be quite honest with you. Let's try first without. Let's see how it behaves. Whoa. Oh, we okay, might not need to foil it after all. So it packed quite a punch when first applied, but now that I sheared it out, it's this beautiful bluish purple reflect, and God, this is not work appropriate at all, but who cares? We've got one life. We are going to go shiny and ethereal and purple to work today. Jesus, this is beautiful. Oh, okay, I think this side you can actually pick it up. Let me blend it out more, God. And you know, I wanted to add a purple lipstick, but my lips are just, it's not gonna happen. It's they're in a very bad state at the moment. guys, so I'm going to a party, so I'm going to get ready using my favorite Nabla shade. This is a shade called Alchemy, which has a reddish purple base with a very strong cold turquoise reflect, which reminds me very much of a clear summer's sky. And I want to pair this with burgundies and reds to match the lipstick I have going on here. Unfortunately, the audio here got all kinds of fucked up, so we are doing this via voice recording, which completely ruins my aesthetic, but it is what it is. I'm starting with a dusty rose shade, a matte and a crease as my transition shade, applied using a fluffy blending brush. With a smaller blending brush, I'm adding a burgundy red to the crease. Unfortunately, this particular single that I was using is not as pigmented as I would have loved it to be, so I had to do multiple passes. Basically, what I want to do is have the crease a monochromatic red wine sort of look, because then the base and alchemy will kind of meld into that, and the turquoise reflect will be center stage. I'm going to add this to the lower lash line as well, same shade of burgundy. If you've got a warmer skin tone than me, this might look you a bit sick, so adapt, improvise, overcome. Adding the same burgundy shade with a flat packing brush to the ultimate third of my lid. And then with a very small fluffy blending brush, I am taking a dark reddish brown and deepening out the crease. With a flat packing brush, I'm adding Alchemy on the first 2/3 on my lid. You see, the reflect is quite strong, even though it's not foiled or wet or anything. This is just how the shade performs on its own, dry, and you can see now why this is my favorite shade of the bunch. I'm also adding a bit to the inner corner. And this is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Hi guys, it's the weekend. I'm feeling lazy, so let's just do a very wearable neutral look, because the shade that I've chosen for today, Nabla Water Dream, is perfect for neutral looks. So Nabla Water Dream is a very beautiful shade that is very multi-purpose. It has a cream colored sheer base with a lot of very finely milled silver glitter. And what this does is that you can use it both as a single shadow, a wash all over the lid, and you've got a very subtle, work appropriate but with some pizzazz look. You can use it as an eyeshadow topper, you can use it as a lid shade, and as an eyeshadow topper it kind of makes everything else look a bit more magical, a bit more mystical, if you will. With a fluffy blending brush, I'm going to use an orange in the crease, but if you want a more neutral look, this could be a brown or a cream shade depending on your skin tone, basically a transition shade. But no lie, the orange will just look better for Instagram. So now that I have this orange base on, I'm going to add a brown in the outer part of the crease and in the outer V. The palette I'm using as a companion palette is the Soft Makeup Revolution Extra Spice, but if you have these colors, just use what you have. I'm going to pack some of that brown in the last third of my lid. You can use cooler browns, warmer browns. What's nice about this Water Dream shade is that it goes well with almost anything. Adding some of that brown on my lower lid. And for a bit of a visual interest, I'm going to deepen the outer V with a purple from the palette, but very slight. Not a lot of pigment picked up on the brush, just enough to deepen things out without things getting muddy. With a brush with a thin edge, I am going to add the same purple near my lash line. Now taking Water Dream on my finger, this does not perform well with a brush, and just adding it in the inner part of my crease. And a bit in the inner corner. And here we are. Basically, this is the look. Easy peasy, fast, perfect for work if you tone it down a bit and you don't use all of these intense yellows and oranges like I did. Hi guys, so it's Sunday, it's the last day of my 7 days with Nabla, and I legit chose this title because it sounds like a rom-com with a manic pixie girl that comes into the character's life and totally changes his perspective on the world, you know what I mean? So I'm going to use for today's look a couple of Nabla singles. I'm going to use the shade Abysnthe and Eresia. Abysnthe you've seen in one of the looks from before, and Eresia is a purple matte, a very deep royal cold purple that I absolutely love using. And I'm going to try doing a gradient eye because I noticed that in all of the previous days I just kept doing the same eye shape, because basically that's the eye shape that I default to in the mornings. So there is that. With a fluffy blending brush, I'm going to take that not so pigmented burgundy I used in one of the previous days and take it way up in my crease because I want this to be the base of my gradient. With a fluffy blending brush, I'm taking Nabla Eresia and starting to blend it into the crease. I'm not picking up a lot on the brush because sometimes when I pick up too much of it, it tends to go a bit patchy at the edges, but that only happens when I pick up too much of it. Second pass. If you want this color to be more intense, you can like pack it like this, but not about that life. I mean, for now, never say never. I'm just into more diffused looking eye looks at the moment. Going with a bit of Nabla Eresia on my lower lash line. And now with my finger I'm going to add absinthe all over the lid. Basically this is it. This is the final look. Okay, if you pull through to the end of this video, wow, you're a champ, a gold star. I owe you a cookie. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed these looks, enjoyed me shilling Nabla some more and just gushing over their products and specifically their singles. Don't forget to check out Zeyn's channel. And you know, I'm happy to have you here, whether you're coming back or you're checking me out, you're new, you're coming from Zeyn's channel. I'm really thankful to everybody that's taking the time to put up with my bullshit. Thank you guys. You go ahead and have a nice, wonderful day, evening, morning, whatever it is where you're from. Bye.